right, can you guys hear me? All right, I gotta change that from portrait to landscape. Okay, and that still doesn't. Got my mic in the way. Nope, still doesn't work. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. Oh, why can't I? Oh, there we go. There we go. 4x336. That should work. All right. Let me get this printed real quick. Hopefully, if this will work. Trying to print a growth stage chart here on wheat. Well, not that it's a big concern to us. We're just kind of use it basically at what the heck's wrong with my monitor here? Huh. I've never heard the printer make that noise. Let's see, what do we have here? Nowhere near what I wanted. All right. Doing pretty good. So there's actually beans in the ground in the area. We don't have any. Supposedly, the one neighbor supposedly has 30. I don't know what some of the other neighbors have. I just know the one neighbor, just from Facebook, said that they have 30 in the ground. There's some in the area that have between 50 and 100, I've heard. That was well before 1st April, I believe. So I don't know. We're not really in too big of a hurry. We're not even ready. I mean, we need a week yet, but typically time for our area planning wise, if I can get this figured out here, gosh darn it, is around April. We're shooting for like April 20th, April 23rd. I mean, the past couple of years, it seems like we've started on the 24th or the 25th just due to weather. Would that work? Why is this such a weird size? Trying to print a picture off and I can't get. 5x7, no. This is just really, there we go. This is what I want. This is what I want. There we go. Trying to get a wheat growth stage chart to print off and it's not cooperating. We do have 30 acres of alfalfa in the ground though. 54Q29 Pioneer alfalfa. There we go. That's what I was wanting. We don't have any wheat this year. Just 70 acres of rye. And we're just getting a growth stage chart for wheat just because we use that fairly close to the rye staging. So, I mean, it's basically identical as far as the feeks go. We're going to shoot for at least getting the herbicide on this week. So we're probably, right now, today, we're probably at feeks between feek 3 and 4. We're going to try and get the herbicide on this week. And then the following week, next week, we're going to between 5 and 6, preferably before feek 6, because they're saying anything after feek 6 on the wheat, at least, which we're just going to use that for staging with the rye as well, or guidelines for the rye. anything after Feek 6, they're saying don't do any nitrogen applications, which I think in the past we've been. So this year we're going to basically do a cutoff of no more than Feek 6 and try and get that on between Feeks 5 and 6 with the premium grain fill application that we're doing with it. So, which we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys running premium grain up, which goes on at 5 quarts to the acre, and basically it's just a whole micronutrient package designed specifically for the wheat. This go around, it's basically the exact formulation as premium grain up, but it's called premium grain fill. I actually came up with those names. I don't know. They didn't really know what to call the product because we were coming out with the product, and I'm like, well, I'll just figure something up. But the grain fill application just is basically premium green up, but with boron and cytokine in it. That goes on at 5 quarts as well, and that just goes down with your second top dress, and that is basically the boron and the cytokine just aid in seed head retention and stuff, so, and pollination development. So I think, well, there's 4 guys running it. This go around on ours, I'm putting sugar complex with it, which is basically just sugar, but with humic acid as well. Every application this year, we're going to run sugar. Just talking with he calls himself a plant physiologist, which it's pretty unbelievable how far our fertilizer guy up in Michigan will take it. And it's pretty awesome as far as even taking fertilizer and micronutrient, basically determining like what micronutrients do on a DNA RNA level even, which is really unbelievable, but it's really awesome. So, we after talking with him, we decided to run basically sugar on every pass that we go through on the field. So we talked about putting sugar in the 2x or in the in furrow on the planter, and premium in furrow, which is what we've been running for, I don't know, this would be going on year 10 or 11, has a touch of sugar in it, and that's at 52 ounces to the acre, and that has primarily a quart of zinc, and then the rest is magnesium, cobalt. I'm trying to think, there's one other thing besides sugar, I believe, in it. I don't know, I've got the product book right next to me, but and we decided against that because we're also putting 2 gallon of 1034O down in our in furrow, which we've been for ever since we've been running in furrow. And we talked about putting sugar in it this year, and we just decided against that. We're just going to keep the sugar in the 2x2x2, which is the Yetter dual injectors that we run on the back. So we're going to run a gallon sugar through the 2x2, or 2x2x2, I should say, and a gallon on side dress, gallon during fertigation, basically every fertigation application. So when we're running 2004, or this year on our NCGA, since we're going to put out an NCGA field and actually sign up for NCGA this year. I know last year I just kind of joked that we were, putting out a NCGA plot, even though we never signed up or did anything. But this year we're signing up and, shooting for no-till irrigated this year, at least. For the Indiana side, I doubt we're really going to shoot hard for the national level. I just care about hopefully getting in the top 3 on no-till irrigated in Indiana. But I think our fertilizer guy has other plans. I think he really wants that field down there to get up into the national level, which, yeah, would be cool. But I'm not ready for 616 bushel corn yet. Yeah, that'd be cool, but baby steps. By God, we don't need to jump from 250 all the way up to 616. Wow. That's going to take a lot of work to get up to that way. Insane amount of work. But Right now I'm just working on some field planning sheets. That just goes to show how, we're not even near ready, but we're ready, but we're not. The planner will be ready tomorrow. Just taking so much time working on other things and not working on the planner, and just haven't really had much time in the shop to mess with it. And besides, like I've been saying, there's really not too much to do on the planner anyways. So, but the gauge wheels are on. You guys will see that video probably this week. I'm thinking about putting out a video tomorrow for you guys. And that one will be on hauling corn and a couple new purchases, actually. I forgot about that. Yeah. So you guys will get to see that tomorrow. Planting corn and beans up here in Ontario, Canada. What maturity do you guys run up in Ontario? Because I know you guys run, I think on beans, from what I've heard from a couple of guys I've talked to online, you guys are running sub group 1 beans, like between 0 and 1 up there, right? Yeah, Cole, we are a Pioneer dealer, still a Pioneer dealer. Been a Pioneer dealer for 30, this would be year 32 or 33. Before that, we sold for a regional seed company. I'm trying to think of the name. Hello from Texas. How's it going? Do you have a DJI Mavic Mini? I do not have a Mini. I doubt if I'll ever get a Mini. I have a Mavic 2 Pro, and I hate to say this, but I can't remember the name of the drone that I just got. I haven't actually had much time to play with that recently to get that. I don't have the first generation Mini. I do have the second generation Mini, I believe it's called. Yeah, that is a. I hate to say this, but I just haven't had much time to play with it recently, and I just can't remember the name of it. Yeah, it's a Mavic. It's the. Is it the Air? It's either the Air or the Mini. I can't remember. I mean, unless I grab it right now and take a look, but I want to say it's the Air. I can't believe that I forgot the name of this. Nope, that's from the crashed one. The one that I crashed was a Mavic Air 2 Pro. And actually, our landlord came out a couple days ago and was asking me about it. He's like, hey, did you ever recover that? I'm like, no, never did. Mavic Air 2. Mavic Air 2 is the other Mavic that I have. I've got everything for Mavic Pro 2, except the drone itself, because that's the one I crashed. And I will replace, but a Mavic Air 2. That's the one I currently have. And I still have the Phantom 4 Pro. I'm not going to get rid of that. That's always been a really awesome drone. I just like the Mavics just because of the portability. Just all around a really nice drone. Now, as far as ruggedness goes, I'd take the Phantom 4 over that. Supposedly they're working on a new Phantom, and supposedly they're working on a new Inspire. But it would be cool to have an Inspire someday, but that's it's not. They're pretty expensive, put it that way. But I don't know. All these drones are expensive. Like, I don't know. I think to replace, I think I priced it to replace my Mavic 2 Pro. To replace my Mavic 2 Pro would be $1,700, and I guess if I ever were to get a Mavic Mini 2, it'd be about $1,850. So you're talking around $3,500 for 2 more drones. What I really want to get, though, is the new DJI FPV drone. That looks pretty awesome. I was going to build my own FPV drone, like what this one guy did from Australia. Well, a lot of people do, but I followed this one farmer in Australia. Found him actually on TikTok. Yes, I have a TikTok account, but no, I'm not doing. I don't even know really. I don't even follow the dances or what the heck ever you want to call it on there. I don't even do any of that crap. I mean, that's just stupid, but I don't know. It's just like Vine, guys. I don't know, and it's addicting as crap. But found him on there, talked to him a little bit, and actually mapped out building a drone. And it was around $1,700 for an FPV complete drone, and I'm talking, with the stack for the CPUs, and with the goggles, and basically running the FPV kit through DJI with the remote controller and the goggles and this and that, but custom making the whole FPV drone itself. And it was around $1,600 to $1,800. But now that DJI's come out their own, and it's like, I don't know, I think they're boasting 20 some minute flight time, which is like 2 or 3 times more than what you're going to get out of like a custom built one. Because that's the problem. The batteries just don't last. And I think what DJI was boasting was 22 minutes, 21 minutes. I can see right here real quick. Flight time. Where is the flight time? The motion controller looks really cool. That looks really cool. Where is it? Just give me the specs. All right, well, that loads. Oh, here we go. There we go. It's got a 2,000 milliamp hour battery. Okay, that's actually more. That's interesting. Since DJI does not give me a straightforward answer, yeah, 20 minutes. Traditional FPV drones, it's saying right here 3 to 10, like I was saying, and FPV from DJI, 20 minutes. That's huge. That is really huge. So, plus you don't have to worry about adding a GPS tracker and this and that, and worrying about like obstacle avoidance and stuff like that. I mean, it's all built into this and ready to go. So I know it would be really cool if I built one, because I really would, I would have done a video, but yeah, it's more cost effective and cheaper, slightly cheaper to just buy it right from DJI. But I need one that sprays our fields. Well, actually, depending on how things just go, I mean, I don't know, but depending on how things go, I'm actually working with this company called, I think it's AgriSpray. They want to come out and give me a demo. Like, I wouldn't get to fly it, but they would just come out and show me the drone. One of those Agris T8, I think it's a T800 from DJI. And I think, don't quote me, but I think that retails between $20,000 and $25,000. That drone does. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to have one, but that's crazy expensive for a drone. I mean, I don't know. I could look it up real quick. And DJI Agris T20 price. They sell a boatload of these, and well, okay, the T20 is actually $14,000, so that was a little high, but still $14,000 for a drone. But what's it actually even hold? Because that was the only thing I saw, that the tank, like, if you're spraying out like 10 gallons to the acre, I mean, you're not going to get much done. 20 liters, so liters to imperial. Liters to gal. See, that's the problem. I mean, it holds 20 liters, and that's equivalent to 5.2 gallons, so 5 gallons, so a half acre. I mean, the only thing I could think of, and that was only if burr cucumber was a severe issue, like it was 15, 20 years ago in this area, then it would have easily paid for itself in a year, but it's just not cost effective now. I think they might make a larger one. Agris, I think it might be the MG1. Yeah, that looks like a bigger drone. It's actually it's a octocopter, I think, or how do you even want to say that? It has 8. I've heard it called an octocopter before, but that's not the exact name for it. But it's got 8 blades or 8 props on it. Wow, that is a big drone. That is like 6 times bigger than the Phantom. And it does not give me capacity. It says supposedly 7 to 10 acres an hour, 10 kilograms of payload. MG1. We got a T30. What the heck's a T30? But the MG1 they were saying had a what? Tank. I mean, it would be pretty cool, but okay, so the capacity on an MG1. So supposedly the MG1 is only 10 gallons. And it's 15. Well, back 5-6 years ago, it was $15,000. I don't know. I'd be interested in seeing a demo on one, but I don't know. It just. So the headset for the Mavic, I've actually only used this one time, and that's only because I've never actually have had a lot of time to use it. The FPV goggles. This is actually generation 1 of the FPV goggles. So, I mean, they were cool. I got this as a present, so I mean, I'm not out any money, but personally, I mean, it's really cool when you can actually control the camera based on head movement and head tilt. That's really cool. I used this on the Phantom 4, and it was actually really cool, but 99% of the time when I'm flying the drone, I'm not going to run the goggles. So that's the problem, and I just hardly have had any time to actually play with these enough. So, like I said, I've only run them one time. It was probably only about 10, 12 minutes. And that was just because of how cold it was in the winter when I was flying that many years ago. And the battery time at that temperature just flat out sucks. When they say you get a 30-minute flight time, in the summer, or typically when it says 30-minute flight time, that's when you're getting it in, I don't know, anything above 50 degrees, anything around like 20 to 15 degrees. I mean, I don't know, you're talking 15-minute tops, unless you're heating up your batteries before flights. But, yeah. I think they've got well, they've got racing goggles now, they've got FPV goggles now, and they've got, I think, generation. I want to say they've got like Gen 2 or Gen 3 out. I know they've got Gen 2 out, but I don't know if they came out with like a third generation or not. I mean, my cousin and I, we were talking about these new generation of batteries that they're looking at coming out with. Um, I can't remember exactly what the name of it is, but it's supposed to basically like lithium ion technology, LiPo, that came out. That got really big back in like '08, and the RC industry like literally took off with that. But now there's this new generation of batteries coming in. I'm trying to remember the name of it because they're developing it out in California, just like everything else. And it's supposed to be 10 times more efficient than LiPo batteries or lithium ion technology. So I don't know. That's the really big drawback I feel is with lithium ion is one, safety, two, capacity. I mean, capacity is not too big of an issue, but it depends, and then discharge. The problem is, you charge it up, it's going to discharge after 3-5 days. So, and then the problem is with that is your overall health of the lithium ion cells with, letting them just completely 100% deplete versus, constantly keeping them charged and this and that. And so there's just a lot of drawbacks with that. I've replaced probably 3 or 4 Phantom batteries over the years. So, and those aren't cheap. I mean, you're talking $180 a battery. So, Mavic batteries run about $150. We don't have any fields needing harvesting yet. Basically, the rye is going to be the first thing to be harvested this year, and we're probably talking. Well, it's going to be the first half of July, probably, just depending on the way the weather's been this spring. So, I mean, technically, that's the Agris drones from DJI can actually technically do that. They can seed cover crop. They can, instead of just spraying herbicides, I mean, you can actually just spray water. But I mean, it would be just so inefficient as far as application rate. I mean, you'd be better off just to, on a small scale, set up a sprinkler system if you have like a garden or something. But if you're talking like, a 40-acre plus field, a 3-tower plus pivot would be way more economical than going out with a drone. But, the way I see it, it's just more geared for spot spraying. So if this Agris spray company wants to come out and show me the Agris drone, that's cool with me. I mean, I'd be down for that to show you guys online what that is and show them basically the company and stuff like that. They're based out of Missouri, I believe. I want to say. I believe the actual name is Agris Spray Drones. Yeah, Agris Spray Drones. They're on Facebook as well. That's actually where the guy reached out to me from. So, there's the Rantizo. Rantizo is actually, I believe, could be totally out of left field here, but I believe these guys are located in Indiana, right? Because these were, there's a company in Indiana that was actually the first company to, okay, that's out in Iowa. There's a company in Indiana that was actually one of the first companies to actually get approved by the FAA for drone spraying. And there was and actually, ironically, another guy, not with this company, but another guy was actually the first approved that was from Indiana for nighttime flying. But see, now they basically waived those waivers for the nighttime flying, and basically you just have to carry a commercial drone pilot license. So, which they changed the rules on that, and I guess now I don't have to pay $150 to renew my license. I can just go online and renew my license there for free, and just every so many years just go online and get it renewed. I think I just have to I don't know, take a smaller condensed version of the Part 107 test, but that's a heck of a lot better than taking the Part 107 test. I mean, I passed the Part 107 test the first time with I think like a 47 out of 51, I think, if I remember. I mean, I don't know, it was a few years ago, so. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the batteries are just a hair bit cheaper than a car battery, honestly. So, Drone X, yeah. I mean, necessarily. I mean, if you're comparing, like, oh, God, my arm's sore. I got my COVID shot today, your first one, and wow, it's, yeah, I know your arm's going to be sore tomorrow, but wow, literally like 15 minutes, well, not even 15 minutes, like 5 minutes after I got the shot, when I'm sitting there for about 15 minutes, man, my arm just tensed up a little bit, and wow. Yeah, that hurts. um, but as far as like a comparison between um, a plane slash helicopter versus a drone, really, I mean, like I said, I mean, I really only see the Agris as being like a spot spray drone. I mean, unless, like with a helicopter or a plane, you're going out there and doing fungicide or going after burr cucumber, like in our area, which really burr cucumber isn't too much of an issue anymore whatsoever. But it's just one of those things where uh, the shot, I believe it's free. As far as I know, I didn't have to pay anything. I mean, at least showed the insurance card and that's it. But I got Moderna, and man, yeah, I mean, Moderna was the only thing that you can get here. Wow, I can't even hardly lift my arm about any higher than that, and it just hurts really bad. But I think, I mean, I believe it's free. I don't know. I mean, I can only say so much on YouTube before YouTube about that before YouTube blocks the video. But yeah, but I mean, as far as like a cost comparison between the two, I don't know. I mean, I think going rate for spraying around here with the plane is, I believe, between I want to say it's around 7, if I remember right from last year. $7, I think. Might have been 10 on fungicide last year. I want to say ours was, I think last year on fungicide it was around 950 to 10. 950 9 to 10 on fungicide last year, I believe. So, which we were really happy with the plane. I mean, we used a local guy here, and he did a fantastic job in my opinion. So we'll be using him again this year. So, and he was really happy with the cover crop. I mean, we actually had him seed 40 acres of cover crop for us with a plane on some double crop beans, and we were really happy with. I mean, we're not going to be doing more. I mean, we're just going to be doing like double crop beans and stuff like that. But I mean, we're not going to be doing our corn or anything with that. But the But back to like the drone versus the plane. I mean, or a helicopter even. I mean, if you're going to be doing a whole field, 40 acres, it makes more sense to go with the plane. If you're choosing between a plane and a drone, I would hands down easily choose the plane just because, you're going to get it done, in my opinion, a lot quicker. But as far as application, as far as like, um, I don't know. The drone does not seem cost effective to me whatsoever. I mean, if you're paying $20,000 now, when you compare a $20,000 drone versus 500 and well, not even 500,000. I mean, you're talking $600,000 by the time you add options to it. A $600,000 Haggy, and you can cover. I mean, acres are obviously not going to be comparable what you can cover between a 120-foot boom Haggy or even a 132-foot boom if you choose to go that big. In my opinion, I really don't understand the 132-foot boom. But the versus a sprayer that can supposedly do 7 to 10 acres an hour, I don't know. It just, like I said, it just does not seem cost effective. So. Hey, thanks, Lucas. Charlie, new planter. No. As far as a current corn planter, no. Next year, we basically have stuff mapped out what we're already going to do. I mean, new openers, obviously. Just depending on how the Keatons look. I mean, it just depends. We just got to watch our Keatons and just see. I mean, I doubt we're going to need new Keatons next year, but I mean, who knows how they're going to wear this year. Wow, that hurt. The bushing kit for the closing wheel arms or closing wheel brackets, and then new bearings for the closing wheels, new tensioning springs and tensioning arms on the closing wheels themselves. We did one row just because it was broke, and the other ones are going to definitely need it next year. We can get through this year just fine, but next year we're going to do it just that way it's done. But as far as a bean planter goes, you guys will hear me talk about this in a video. That would be probably when Friday. We'll say Friday. I don't know, Friday, I guess. So, 17. So, any of you guys own a 1790 versus or even a 1795 even? Doesn't really matter as far as row, like how many rows you're running. Either it's like a 1223 or 1224 or 1631 or 1632. I really don't care. Even versus odd row spacing. Let's hear it. I mean, I've talked with our John Deere dealer because he really wants us to buy a planter, obviously, from him, of course. He wants us to buy everything from him, but that usually isn't the case with us because we can usually find a better deal somewhere else, like on an auction or something. But it's worth giving our John Deere dealer a shot just because it's right down the road, and you always want to browse there first. But beside the point, they have a 17, guessing 95, 1631 row, and he doesn't want to bring us out to let us try it just because he knows we're not going to like it. We'll talk about Xyway also, because I know some of you guys want me to talk about that. But beside the point on that, what do you guys think on a 1630, 1632? Because we want a 40-foot, 15-inch row bean planter. We want a side dress. It's going to be a no-till, either corn, either no-tilling in, well, it's going to be no-tilling in the corn stalks or no-tilling in the cereal rye. So side dressing the beans with the Y drops because that's what we did last year and we really like that. And we're going to be doing some more this year in 30s just because we can, obviously, with the drill. Ow. Yeah, that's really hurting. Um, but for those of you that run the 31 row, what do you guys think? If you're no-tilling, what do you guys think? 32 row? In my opinion, on a 31 row, you're really not going to have an issue as far as no-tilling goes. I can understand possibly the side dress issue, but in my opinion, if you have RTK and you have your AB line set correctly, and it doesn't really matter your AB line, but your pass-to-pass spacing set correctly, it shouldn't be an issue, but I don't know. The only disadvantage I can actually see from, and this just makes sense when you think about it, you've got two, what are they, 50 bushel CCS tanks on there. You're going to have, one's going to feed more rows, one more row, one more number of rows than the other tank. So obviously one tank's going to run out quicker than the other tank, which I can see that being the slight issue, but then again, that's a slight issue. It's nothing too critical that you can't work around. But in my opinion, yeah, I would like a 32 row, but currently right now, our dealer only has 31 rows, which really isn't too big of a deal to me because they seem to be on the 6-figure scale, which I'm kind of more on the 5-figure scale as far as the planter goes. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If any of you guys in here have a 1790 or 1795, either 31 or 32 row, or like I said, even a 23 versus 24 row. I mean, it's still the same idea there. But like I said, we're going to go to a 40-foot 1790. Doubtful on a 1795 unless there's a really good price on one. So, but if not, that's no big deal if nobody in here has one. But see, now shifting to hitch, I read into this. That's not really a big deal. I think it's on the 31 row that you shift the hitch with when you're switching from 15-inch rows to 30-inch rows, because obviously you're going to plant corn in 30-inch rows, unless, there's some guys out there messing around with narrower row spacing with 15s and 20-inch row corn. But anyways, I believe it's on the 31 row that you shift the hitch on the 2-point from when you're switching from 15s to 30s, but I could be wrong. I haven't really looked into that enough just because I know we're not going to be planting any corn with this. This is going to be solely a bean planter. So I am not getting anything done on this planting plan whatsoever, or side dress, or we have it all. We know what we're going to do. I just want to put it in black and white. That way I can put it in binders and kind of just lay them around. That way, in the heat of the moment, you're going to forget something. So wow, my arm is is tensing up bad right now. I don't know why. No, I did not get any rashes. No, I did not have to, I don't know, what are all the other 911 symptoms that they were saying that you have to sit there and wait for 15 minutes to make sure you don't have, but it's just sore, really sore. Dad was saying he didn't even feel the needle when he got his. He's already done. He's already got his second one done, but he said the first time he never even felt the needle. This time he said he felt the needle, but it wasn't bad. This time for me, wow. It's going into my back too a little bit. Too. Unless you get the Johnson & Johnson. Like I said, I can only say so much before YouTube really cracks down on this because they really don't like people on here talking about it. But I don't know. That's just their policy, I guess. So who knows? This video might get red flagged or something just because I said it once. If I even have said it, I don't even know if I've even. I don't know. It'll get red flagged. I guarantee it. Xyway, yeah. So back to Xyway, and I'm gonna start working on this because I wanted to get some of this done. Um, Xyway, that is by FMC, and if I believe I can't remember the use rate. I had it figured. There's 5 gallon. Okay, there's 5 gallon out there. 5 gallon would do 40 acres. 5 times 128. It's 16 ounces to the acre. For those of you that want to know, really, Xyway is sold out. Did not know that. We got this for free. This is part of FMC's trial. I would go to Rumble, but then I need to build a fan base all over again on YouTube, or on there. But anyways, Xyway, FMC product, Xyway FLR. FLR just means liquid fertilizer ready. They make the 3-drive system, or make a version for the 3-drive system that they sell. We're not going to go to that system. Could be the foam version because I know a lot of people are running that, but it could be the LFR version because I know a lot of people are trying it out in furrow. But we got this product free, and this came through our agronomist, or through our agronomist that we use for our consulting on that. And they got they work with a whole bunch of companies on far as product trials and this and that. And we got on, they asked us if we wanted to be part of the FMC trial for the Xyway, and we said yeah, because they had a trial with it last year, not our guys, but FMC did. And now this year, they're just looking for more trial data. Basically, we've got 40 acres worth, and they want to know, basically, we could either do a 140-acre trial in a field, or do 2 20-acre trials. So we haven't decided yet what we're going to do. We would really like to have it. If we do a 40-acre trial, obviously we want more than just 40 acres in the field. That way we can see a comparison. That way, if we need to come in and spray fungicide on that field, we can possibly leave like a check strip out in the LFR or in the Xyway to see on tar spot and this and that, because tar spot is actually not labeled on Xyway right now. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's just because just the results they've seen, or it's just not, where they were testing, or they're just wanting more testing with it. I mean, I don't know on tar spot side, but I mean, it's going to be really interesting because last year tar spot in this area came in late, and we basically, I would say personally, just from seeing our fields, 90 to 95% of our fields were like clean from top to bottom, and that was an Approach Prima application. That was done at R1. We wanted it done at R2, but it was just due to timing with the plane, and it was more like, hey, I'm spraying yours next, so it's going to be next Monday. All right. So ours got down at R1. We wanted it done at R2. So be it. But actually, timing worked out really well. So obviously, our guy knew what he was doing. So we only saw one field, just a snuff of tar spot, came in real late. And really, I don't think there was any yield impact from what I've seen on it, nor did Dad, just looking at the yield map, really. And really, last year, I know yields were down, but actually there was only one field that we had that was down. Otherwise, every single field we bested the highest yield on, which that was phenomenal. I think part of that was switching from anhydrous to 28, and also switching to right away going to Y drops. So we really lean on those pretty heavily for what the yields we got last year. Really, really happy with those. So It'll be real interesting. I mean, supposedly they say Xyway can completely eliminate a R1 to R3 fungicide application with the plane. A lot of guys in this area tried Veltima. Really, we've talked to our agronomists, we've talked with our Pioneer agronomists on Veltima and all these other newer fungicides, saying that there's a longer lasting residual with that. And our guys have done trials with it. Our Pioneer agronomist, Pioneer on the inside, has done trials with it against obviously Approach and Trivapro and all this and that. And really, from what everybody is seeing, as far as the guys we've talked to, both agronomists, whether it's Pioneer or our guys or independents, they're saying it's really just there's really not, you know, a longer lasting as far as residual goes with some of these new ones. It just seems like they're doing the job that they say they do as far as plant health goes, just like all the other ones seem to do. So it's just kind of personal brand preference to, that's what it just boils down to at that point. So we've been happy with Approach. We've been using that for years and love it. So we're just going to keep going with the Approach, and unless something new and exciting comes out from somebody that we're seeing, people are seeing really great results from. So, and that's the thing. I mean, like what you just said, Hitch, and I was just going to flow into also. I mean, timing is huge. It just all depends. I debated, or I'm still thinking about it, in the future, at least, when we start going into 15-inch row beans and side dressing beans, whether 360 undercover wouldn't be such a bad idea, putting on the wide drop applicator and doing fungicide through that. But again, I would like to put wide drops on a sprayer eventually, because I know a lot of you guys, and I'm still not getting anything done on this planning plan, but I know a lot of you guys are asking about the sprayer. We're not, again, doing anything with a sprayer this spring, just because right there, Dad's 40 on the corner. I got to at least attempt to start doing something on this. And we are not, again, doing anything with a sprayer this year, just because, like I said, when we got the semis, one, we weren't expecting to buy two, and the reason why we bought two was just because of the price, and that will be a guaranteed next year upgrade because we really need to do something. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the 4230 setup right now. It's just age, and that would be somebody from Facebook. Drew Swanson. Again, it's just not there's nothing wrong with the setup. It's just old, and the amount of applications that we're starting to do now with foliars, it would be much better well suited if we went to something newer and with a larger boom spacing to cover more acres. That's why we're wanting to do something. So, and it's this age mainly. So that tractor, when Dad bought it, 25, well, it's getting close to be about almost 30 years ago, had 10,000 hours on it to begin with. So right now that tractor is sitting around 15, probably closer to 16. So it's this age. That's the only issue. NW04. That's what I'm looking for. As far as what we would want, it would be a 120-foot boom, and the only reason why for that is for tram lines with 15-inch row beans with a 40-foot bean planter. So, because I know half you guys think we're nuts with the 120-foot boom idea, but that's our reasoning behind it, is for the tram line idea. But again, I would like to consider putting wide drops on 18 bags on sprayers someday, to be able to do late season nitrogen applications on good dry land dirt that we don't have a currently irrigator on, or really isn't justifiable to put an irrigator on. So 32,000. All right, that's what I needed. 64 ounces. Now the sugar. I think the one year when we did fungicide, and that was like one of the really bad first years of tar spot. I mean, obviously the first year that we saw tar spot, it was a huge detriment in our area just because of timing. Obviously, when you see tar spot, I mean, probably it's really hard to tell in chat, but I don't know what percent of you guys are familiar with tar spot whatsoever. But when you see tar spot in the field already, it's too late to even consider spraying. I mean, yeah, you can ease your yield reduction, but you're still going to have yield loss. Basically, it's just trying to get that application out ahead of tar spot before it actually does damage to the plant. So the following year, after the first year tar spot hit, we saw, I think, when we did side-by-sides with fungicide, it was about 15 bushel. 15 to 22 bushel on tar spot. So, and that was just that one year. Obviously, years after that, since then, I mean, we've been 100% on tar spot or 100% on fungicide on corn. This year, we're going to do some test strips with fungicide on beans and also some test strips with gypsum on beans, because back in the day when we first started messing with gypsum, we actually saw a 6 bushel yield jump by running gypsum, and that was at 1,000 pounds. This year we're backing that down a little bit because we don't need that much sulfur, but we do. But we're just going to be running about I think they were running about 750 to 800 pounds this year. At least that's as low as what they could get the spreader set to spread it good. At least for our custom applicator, we have a custom applicator do all of our dry. So, but back then, that was probably 6-7 years ago when we first started playing with gypsum. 7 years ago, I want to say. And then we went back to AMS again for a few years, but now we're going back to gypsum again just because we should have just continued with gypsum, even though we only played with it for a few. We messed with it for a few years. We knew it was the right thing to go to over the AMS. I don't know why, really, we switched back to AMS. So, but I'm just glad we're back to all gypsum on the corn, and possibly, just more than likely, good probability we're going to be on gypsum on everything next year. But the problem is it's just source. It comes out of power plants. And I think it's coming out of Sullivan, Indiana, and supposedly that power plant down there, it's a byproduct from power plants. Supposedly that power plant down there has about 5 years. We actually talked with our plant physiologist, our fertilizer guy up in Michigan, and he said he's got guys running up in Michigan a liquid. I believe it's a liquid acid AMS product to substitute out the gypsum, and it's doing just as well as what gypsum would do. So might be something we'll look into next year to kind of transition out of gypsum, just in case if gypsum becomes really, really tight in supply. So, hey, thanks, Vic. Oh God, Fix and Fab. The only thing I dislike on the 4930s are just really the booms. A lot of issues on the booms I've heard compared to the newer style steel booms on the R series. So, 4930 would be a lot more economical and a lot nicer on the pocket. But the way we see it, when we're going to buy a sprayer, we're going to buy one that's going to hopefully last us 20 years. I mean, I would like it to at least, if not more. So it's just stuff that you got to think about down the road as far as booms go and this and that. And I've heard they did a lot of improvements on the R series booms versus the uh, 30 series booms. So is RTK a part of AMS? Uh, so uh, AMS, like what I'm talking about as far as fertilizer goes, would be ammonium sulfate, but AMS, as far as I can't even think of what AMS actually stands for. It's slipping my mind something fierce right now. But RTK, the as far as sub 1 inch accuracy for guidance, yes, that's part of AMS technology solutions. Yeah, yeah. Hey, thanks, George. Model, not year. What are your thoughts on the John Deere 2020? Like, you're talking about the John Deere 2020 tractor, not a John Deere 2020 model year tractor. Because that's the problem. You get into different things there, and I mean, honestly, I've never seen a 2020 in person tractor. I think they're neat, but I've just never seen one in person. So, all right, back to this. So that's 64 ounces to the acre. So we've actually been moving a decent amount of Logan Ag product. For those of you that do not know, we'll just round that to 40 acres. We took on a Logan Ag dealership. So basically, the products that we've been using for the past 10, 11 years since working with our agronomists, well, not private, but our consultants that we've used for 10, 11 years now. The products have now gotten labeled under Logan Ag, and they asked us if we wanted to take an ag dealership, and we said sure. And we we've started with the wheat products, and now we're kind of in the 2x2 in furrow phase right now, working on getting some foliar stuff ordered as well. Really, if any of you guys are interested, get with me. I mean, as far as who we'd be interested in working with, really, it wouldn't necessarily matter because, I mean, you could, if you guys are like in Illinois, you guys can call up Logan Ag themselves because they're based out of Griggsville, Illinois, and you can work directly with Ed or one of their sales contacts out there. I mean, Ed's the owner, but I mean, I don't know who their point of contact for sales is necessarily out there, but I mean, you can work directly with them. Or if you're kind of in our neck of the woods, you can work with us as far as logistics go. But they made us kind of a dealer / satellite dealer for them. So we've been moving product and quite a bit in our neck of the woods. Next year we might possibly take on chemical. We're not entirely sure yet. We're kind of kicking the idea around as far as maybe just sticking strictly with bulk. Who knows? We might actually consider doing more on the chemical side. Really, logistically, we need to end up putting, if we're going to go full bore in the chemical side, I mean, not full bore, but, having doing a lot more with the chemical side besides like bulk. And what I mean by bulk, I'm talking like bulk delivery as far as, if you can take bulk chemical delivery, We do that directly to you instead of us handle and have a bulk system at our place, or even consider, mini bulks. I mean, we would deal with that. I mean, that's not a big deal. But I mean, we don't have the capabilities right now to set up a bulk system to store chemical on our farm right now. But for say, like similar to like a co-op, I guess. But or exactly like a co-op. But the so we would need 80 gallon. I don't know. I mean, we're still kind of up in the air on exactly what we're wanting to do with that. I mean, as far as the chemicals go, but we're working really pretty hard on the fertilizer side of things. We actually just developed a new 2x2 product or 2x2x2 product. I mean, it's the same thing, but yes and no. I mean, it's row support fertilizer, so does not go in the in furrow. We've got a specific product for the in furrow. But if you're running 2x2 or 2x2x2, depending on if you're either running on one side of the row or both sides of the row, it really doesn't matter. We've got a couple products for that, but more specifically, a product that we kind of pretty much developed based off of our soil tests and knowing soil types and soil tests in our area. Builds a product off of that has zinc, boron, manganese, and magnesium. A hefty, basically, it's called Quadrant, and it has 0.25% of every one of those, 64 ounces to the acre. So you're getting a really good shot of zinc, boron, manganese, and magnesium at that critical time period that you need all that. So that is a product that we've been pushing quite a bit this year and moving quite a bit. And we're running a gallon of sugar with that. 52 times 40 divided by 128, 16.25 gallon. 16, not 13. Okay. Cool. One field down, many more to go. And I'm not going to get this playing plan done tonight. Yeah, the tractor, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, like I said, I mean, I think they're neat, but I just haven't seen one in person. So exactly, Mark. I mean, that's the issue. I mean, this equipment, I mean, the prices on equipment are just absolutely outrageous. $5+ corn is not going to help either, but you deal with the cards you're dealt, I guess. Not crying about $5 corn, put it that way. It's nice, but it's a double-edged sword. So you just got to remember that 64 ounces on this. So side dressing, a lot of you guys probably remember me talking about microfeed quite a bit. Those of you that watched the videos last year. And we are actually going to run microfeed after the 3 trials that we saw that yielded. On the irrigated, we saw 7 to 10. On the one dry land, we saw 12 bushel increase. And how many acres are we talking here? 140. And we're going to run a gallon to the acre of microfeed across everything with a gallon of sugar. Last year we were only running a half rate of that, and this year we're going to spike that up to a gallon just because of the micronutrient package that you're getting with that and the amount of micros that you're getting at a gallon versus a half. So as far as response goes, I'm not entirely sure how big of a yield jump we're going to see, but the ROI is still very solid and very nice, even at running a 1 gallon rate. So because that is $7 an acre, and running a half gallon, I mean, you're talking only $3.50. So, gallon of sugar, gallon of microfeed, and then 2 20-acre checks of adding Quadrant to that. So that'll be really interesting to run Quadrant on top of microfeed and sugar. So we'll have some checks on that as well. So this field gets 1077. Yeah, I was right. So if any of you guys are interested in following along on that, I mean, you guys can follow me on both Instagram accounts. And what I mean by that, we've got a Werner Ag Service Instagram account, which I'll post both of those down here for you guys. You guys can go check those out on Instagram. The Werner Ag Services, well, I mean, both accounts are going to talk about the trials and the Xyway trial because a lot of you guys are interested in the Xyway. Both accounts will have information on that. The Werner Ag Service, that's going to be strictly more of the Pioneer stuff that I don't necessarily post enough on the Werner Farms side. The Werner Farms is, why did I put Frams? Werner. There you go. That's a possibility, George. I mean, it's been brought up before. He actually talked about doing it, but it's just really timing. You know, I just do it whenever it's convenient for me, not really convenient for him. So I'll kind of pressure that a little bit more. So, because I know you guys have always kind of wanted to see something like that. So, subproduct, that is NWO4. But yeah, the Werner Farm, strictly all the farm stuff, and the Werner Ag Service, that's going to be the Pioneer and the Logan Ag stuff, and some other behind the scenes stuff. So all the 1077 goes on that. No, so he's putting 1197 and 1077 down there. What the heck is he thinking? We are not on the same page here, Dad. 36,000 divided by 80,000. All right, so we did have 36,000 figured. I don't know if we want to put that down there. So, really nothing new coming this spring, except you guys will see tomorrow a couple purchases that we got. They're not really too exciting, but it's exciting, I guess, for what we're going to use them for. You guys will get to see the gauge wheels get installed. Doubtful this week. I think it's going to be the following week that you guys will see that video. Equipment tour. A lot of you guys have asked about that. Equipment tour, that will be sometime before spring planting. I don't know. I'll have it recorded sometime before spring planting. Doubtful whether that gets posted before spring planting. I doubt it, but try and get that to you guys here pretty soon. So if that's the case, 80 bags, 80 minus. And that. Where did I? We are not on. Wow. All right. I can't even figure some of these right now. Huh. All right. I'm going to have to X these out right now. Closing wheels, we've had those. It's the gauge wheels. The gauge wheels got installed, yeah. No issue. Well, you'll see in the video, we had a slight issue, but it was more communication issue. They didn't realize what kind of style arms we had on the gauge wheels, which that's not a big deal whatsoever. It was just one of those things. So we got it fixed on our end. It wasn't a big deal whatsoever. And we got it taken care of. So I don't think he realizes that we don't have enough 1197. We only have 34 bags figured. Why has he got... This is... The notes are in my drawer. Just look at the notes. Your notes aren't making any sense right now based off of what we have sitting in the shed. Oh, geez. This is why I wanted to make the planting plan way back when. Not, 2 weeks before we plant. I mean, we had this wrote down, but now it's just not coinciding with what we have in the shed right now. To an extent, it's not, but probably is. But his notes are just a little screwed up from way back when, probably for invoicing and stuff like that. But I just don't know. I don't know. Gauge wheels worked out really nice, though. We're really impressed with them. We can't wait to run them this year. At least on the beans. I can get the beans figured and wrote down here because that's really simple. As far as beans go, I know a lot of you guys were asking us on that. We're going to be... Shoot. I can't figure... Well, yes, I can. Well, what the heck? You don't have any... Why'd you figure this? All right, I see what you did here. Trying to decipher notes from 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So as far as beans go, I think I talked about this in a previous live stream about Enlist versus Dicamba versus Liberty. We're actually going to be running all three this year. But the only Enlist beans we're going to have are in plot bags. We're not actually going to have any full fields of Enlist beans. So we're just going to spray Liberty on those. We're about 50-50 Dicamba versus Liberty this year. No, we're only going to have 220 acres of 220 acres of 30s, and the rest are going to be drilled. Next year we should all be 15s, and that just depends on grain market. So, all right. So I only need 81 bags in this field, but he's got 3 boxes figured. Why? I guess I'm using all 90 units. What was he thinking? 67 tons. I'm going to have so many beans left after this field. I don't even know. Are we putting 27 A17s anywhere else? No. That's going to have to be populations are not coinciding right now with the amount of beans we've got right now. At least figured for this field. Even if you figure it's 67, that's still a lot of beans left. To be honest, only really it's this misted rain here all day today, but I think we're right sitting around about between 4 and 6 tenths. Okay, why is wow, my arm's really hurting now, and I'm not even moving it. 4 to, I think it was around 4 to 6 tenths. I think we got. Jeff, you should see all the neighbors that have been in the shop with those gauge wheels. They're all over those gauge wheels. well, half because we put them on, and then also checking out the complete Yetter row unit. Like I said in the video when I did them. So they're really impressed with them, and we really like them too. I mean, we can't wait to get them out in the field. We're not going to plant in any mud though. The narrow styles is going to be really nice. That's going to be really cool. Yeah, the arms worked out great. We just switched the bearing, and that was really simple. Just push the bearing out and put the new one in, and works great. I mean, honestly, that worked out really well. Just had to switch the bearings on that, and yeah, worked out great. We're about, as far as seed delivered, we're about 90%. There's just a couple customers that are not ready for seed, so we're just kind of sitting waiting to get that moved out. But half of that, which is really just 2 or 3 customers, there's 4 customers that are not delivered. The one customer actually keeps his seed here, which is fine by us, by all means, because he actually brings his wagon here and we load him with pro boxes there. So his seed stays here, along with our seed, obviously. And then we've got 3 customers yet to deliver. The one customer I know will be last every single year. Dad's best friend, but which isn't a big deal by any means. The other 2 we should get knocked out this week. I know the one will probably be calling and saying, hey, he's ready. But then the other one is kind of up in the air as whether or not he'll be this week or probably first part of next week. So some of these fields I hope I can get figured out. At least the railroad triangle doesn't get any. We're going to have to sit down and go through this because our populations are not coinciding even with what you told me this evening, what you thought. At least I can get down to starter. That's simple enough. Well, I'll go ahead and end this video at 9 o'clock. So it's about 5 more minutes till 9. And as far as the next video, probably tomorrow, shooting for at least. That will be on a couple new purchases and hauling corn. Video after that, I'm trying to think, because I've got like 5 videos in the pipeline right now and 1 on the GoPro that I got to finish up. That'd be 224, right? Yeah, 224. 225 is Friday's video. Will be on, if the footage would load here, hauling some more corn and messing around with the skid steer. And oh yeah, that was the day I caught the ditch bank on fire. Not intentional by any means, but yeah. Oh yeah, Dad, light the brush pile. Yeah, light the brush pile on fire when we've been bone dry and it lights the ditch bank on fire. Make sure the ditch bank doesn't catch on fire. Yeah, that was really fun. That was really fun. That was a really good idea. No, Friday's video will actually be the new purchase video. Sorry. Tomorrow's video. No. Sorry. I don't know. Doesn't matter. New purchase video this week, and messing with the fertilizer tender and doing some other things Friday. I don't know. I might get 3 videos out this week. It depends on how ambitious I get and whatever. So. Well, I should look and see real quick on the gauge wheels. That way, Jeff, you know when that's coming out. I mean, I'll send you the link right away, but I think that's like 227 or 228, which will be next week. But yeah, that'll be out next week, Jeff, on the gauge wheels. 229 might be the end of next week. Yeah, end of next week. So if any of you guys are interested within reasonable distance from us on the Logan Ag stuff, feel free to get with me. Like I said, I'll have stuff posted on the Werner Ag service a lot more on products and stuff like that, and mixes and programs, what we're running. And we'll probably, this year, since we got kind of started late with that, we'll probably have some pricing programs as far as like discount programs and stuff go for this winter. Might kind of coincide with the seed as well. Wow, I kind of screwed up on that. No, I didn't. So that kind of might coincide with the seed as well, as far as generically, if you're just going to buy Logan Ag, we'll have kind of like a pricing structure for that, and then or discount structure, and then might coincide with the seed saying, hey, if you want to buy Pioneer seed, we'll kind of add like an extra discount on top of the existing discount. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a thought I've had in the back of my mind as far as pricing structure for Logan Ag stuff next winter. So, but we got kind of started late in the game with this, so pricing structure kind of didn't really come into play with discounts or anything. I mean, yeah, you're getting a discount, but it's just a blanketed straight discount for everybody that nobody really sees. So yeah, it's been quite a trip with that, but it's been awesome because we've completely changed our fertilizer program after working and doing a whole bunch of stuff with the guy up in Michigan, and it's been a really fun time with that. So I'm really excited with all the trials we've got out this year. Again, I mean, last year we had a boatload of trials, but now this year we've got an insane amount of trials again as well. The contract that we were filling, yeah, that was filled. I mean, that wasn't a big issue. I mean, I was just hoping to get it knocked out that one day, but it wasn't an issue. Just a fiasco when Cargill screwed up and dumped me, literally told me to dump in a pit full of beans when I flat out told him, I don't know how many times, I'm loaded with corn. Do you seriously want me to dump? Yep, dump. Buddy, the pit's full of beans. Yep, dump. I've got corn. I don't have beans. Then when I had the truck, when I had the hopper 3/4 of the way empty, he comes running out of the dump, going like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And it's just like, "Yep, I told you. I don't know how many times I had corn, and you told me to dump, and I kept telling you 5 times I had corn." Yeah, that was a fiasco because then they had to figure out what to do with the corn and the beans. Not my fault. I told them I don't know how many times before I dumped. I have corn. I don't have beans. Do you seriously want me to dump? Yep, dump. All right. Didn't show it on video. Didn't think that was probably a good idea to film that. we're just going to leave this till tomorrow on this planting plan because this is not making any sense. I don't know what the heck happened. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Live stream maybe next Sunday. I don't know. It really all depends. I'm just doing it whenever it's convenient. And yeah, so possibly new video tomorrow. We'll see. Might flow on the Tuesday. Who knows? But thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream.